was the whole world. Salaki, I'll read the wrong verse. Oh, here we go. Salaki, brothers.
Yeah, Isaiah still?
Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 15. Thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction. That's the one you're talking about?
Man, they were saying that you make the creature a weapon.
Oh, that's 16. That's chapter 16. Breastplate and true judgment instead of a helmet.
Right, so that's what that basically reminded me of what you was reading Isaiah 59, man. You see, because like I said, ultimately going back.
Help of man. Through Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we should do valiantly, for it is that shall tread down our enemies.
Right.
And that's the Lord. Like I said, we don't look for man to deliver us. We look for the Lord. We just got to continue to have that faith and continue to work. The Lord is going to guide us. Just like he guided David to where he needed to, what he had to do as a young man to lead him all the way up to what? To receive that crown, to be a king.
That's right. Let's go back to the...
this is students at NLT.
I mean, you can jump back and forth. Yeah, jump back and forth, bro.
This is verse 22. Says, David left his carriage in the hands of the keeper of the carriage and ran into the army and came and saluted his brethren. And he,
yeah, you keep on. Jump down a little bit.
Verse 23, as he talked with them before their camp, came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistine, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them.
Right. This time David heard the words, man. You see? Now let's see what spirit David's going to be in.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to read this in the NLT. Verse 24, in the NLT. As soon as the Israelite armies saw him, they began to run away in fright. Have you seen this giant? The men asked. He comes out each day to defy Israel.
Right, that's what we're seeing right now. Them niggas is running. Jacob's tucking tail. Jacob's watering down his doctrine, doing everything else instead of standing boldly for the Lord, man. Mm-hmm. You see, and that's what David is about to do. He's the only one that's gonna stand boldly for the Lord, man. You see, he's the only one in that right spirit, man. All right, who understands the power that's dealing with us, man. Keep going, bro.
If I can add, the house of David, damn sure, wouldn't tuck their tails when that juice was mandated, man. With these other camps,
right.
Well, God gave a white man his knowledge, so you better take that juice.
Yeah.
That's why HBK said, man. Right. That's the traits and characteristics of the house of Saul, man.
Right.
Not trusting in Yahweh Shemal Shah.
Yep.
Yeah, because when Joshua and Caleb went to spy out the land, the other people said, I don't know about that. They're like, hell no, man. Look, we got this, man.
Right.
Because they was in the spirit of the Lord. No? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Another spirit, man, because they knew their power. They seen what all Yahweh Shemal Shah did for their forefathers, man. You see, they seen the miracles that the Lord did, man. They knew that, man. The Lord ain't bring us all the way up to this point to let these fucking funky Hamites you know what I'm saying? Right. They was in another spirit like the elder said, man. You see, the house of David is gonna be in that same spirit, man. You see, and Joshua and Caleb represent the northern and southern kingdom, man. Mm-hmm. Putting that out there. But go ahead, bro.
It's back in 1 Samuel 17 in the middle of verse 25. It says, the king has offered a huge reward to anyone who kills him. He will give the man one of his daughters for a wife, and the man's entire family will be exempted from paying taxes.
Well, jump down to what he saw when he's taken before Saul.
Come. I think this is
a couple of verses down.
Yeah, here. All right, yeah. And this is let me start right here, verse 28. It says, but when David's oldest brother Eliab heard David talking to the men, he was angry. What are you doing around here anyway? He demanded, what about those few sheep you're supposed to be taken care of? I know you're about your pride and deceit. You just want to see the battle. Let me jump down a little further. All right, let me jump down to verse 31. It says, then David's question was supported to the king Saul, and the king sent forth. Sent for him. Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Verse 32. Don't worry about this Philistine, David told Saul. I'll go fight him.
Right. You got to remember, man, they like, Saul looking at this is a little dude, man, a young man, a youth, when you read, man. You see?
Right.
So they weren't even looking for David. Even when you read when Samuel went to find the new king of Israel, David, Jesse called all his other sons but David. David was the only one that wasn't there. And after Samuel went through all of them, and the Lord told him, no, that's not him. He had Jesse, you got any more sons? So they wasn't even considering David at all. He wasn't even in their thoughts to bring before Samuel, man. You see? Can we get 1 Corinthians 1?
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
1 Corinthians 1 and 27. I'll start at verse 26. For you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But the Most High, or Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And Yahweh Bashim al-Shai have chosen the weak things of the world to confound things which are mighty.
Right, because right now this is weak what we doing, man. Our people consider what we doing as something weak, as something small, you know, insignificant. You see, but it's the most powerful. The whole time the Lord is dealing with us, bro. Just like the whole time the Lord was dealing with David until this point, man.
Yep.
You see, all those trials and the David was getting ready to tell Saul, look, the lion and the bear. But you know it was more than that. You see, but David just mentioned these, man, you know. So you know we facing, just like now, the house of David is facing, we facing our lions and our bears right now, man. You see, preparing us to building us up for this purpose, for this final battle, to battle against this giant in these times, man. You see? This is the spiritual war. This is the biggest war. This is the most important war on the planet Earth right now. The righteous against the wicked, man. And it's all being played out before these people's eyes, man. Yeah. You know, and the underdog, the Lord loves an underdog, man. David was an underdog, man. That makes the best story, man. The person that they wasn't looking for coming through and did you know, beating the bully, man. You see, just like Craig did. You know, Craig beat up Debo. Yahweh was that brick.
He would have rocked. Yeah,
That turned the tide. Once Craig hit that brick over the smack, it was over. He started kicking ass then, you know. They thought he was done. Yeah, they thought it was over. Nigga choked him out. Put on Craig. You know, Yahweh shines that brick. He's that stone, baby. You know.
But what does the father say? Don't trust in those weapons and everything. You
right.
The gun, you like trusting these. You know, we trusting in the Lord. And what he used his hand to grab that brick. He reached for the Lord, like we reaching for the Lord. You know, even with like say when David came, bro, they wouldn't expect David wasn't supposed to be there. He was up there. Go give him some water. Go give him some food.
Yeah, right. I think they were tending sheep or something.
Yeah,
in the field. Yeah.
But then when he got there, he like, what about the ones that they were the mighty men that were looking to support? You know, the army, the one that was actually supposed to be fighting, they was scared.
Right.
But that faith that David had, like I said, they looked at him like, damn, we can be slaves. You know, they were probably back talking in the back then when David walked up to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we about to be slaves. Well, you look at King Saul right there.
Jesse's
youngest son. What else was it?
Yeah.
You know.
He threw that right down. We finna be slaves.
You know.
It's over. It's over. He was already taking that girl off.
Right, handcuffed himself.
This is back in 1 Samuel 17 and 33. Don't be in the NLT. Don't be ridiculous. Saul replied, there is no way you can fight this Philistine and possibly win.
And that's what these niggas are saying to us, man. There's no possible way you can win like that. You telling our people they don't need no land? You telling our people they don't need to get it? We don't need to get our own on this side? We gotta do this. You don't need no weapons. Because we telling our people what? To wholly trust in the Lord, man.
Yep.
You see, we don't need none of that shit, man. That's not gonna get us a victory, man.
Right.
You know? Doing all this carnal shit is not gonna get us a victory, man. You see? Keep going, bro. Got something? Go ahead.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse I'll start right here, verse 19. Here's the point. It says, for the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of a host, but strength coming from heaven. You know, and that's the thing. The Lamb shall overcome them. And they that were with the Lamb are called, chosen, and faithful. That's talking about the elect, man. You know, that's Yahweh shall the elect overcome this whole beast system, man. You see?
Right. It's just don't.
I got one real quick. You got more? No, go ahead. There's Psalms 147 and 10 in NLT. He takes no pleasure in the strength of a horse or in human might. No, the Lord's delight is in those who fear him, those who put their hope in his unfailing love. That was it.
Yeah, that's it right there, man. You see, and that's what David did. That's what got David the victory, man. You see, and that's what's going to get us the victory in these times, trusting in Yahweh shot that rock. Can we get that in Daniel 2 and then go to, you got something else? Go ahead.
Psalm 61 and 2. It says, from the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. And where are we at? We're in the uttermost part of the earth, which is America. We are literally, at the ends of the earth. So he says, from the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai.
Right. What did we read?
Psalm 61 and 2.
62 and 2, 62 going to the...
I was going to get that name. Yeah. But I'll go and get it for you. You break it down, bro. Psalm 62.